West Ham 1, Chelsea 5 analysis. That has to be one of the best performances I've seen from Chelsea under Enzo Maresca. And of course, it's against West Ham. They're really, really struggling. But this Chelsea side are just beginning to click. No Cole Palmer got injured in the warm-up. And you feel like actually Chelsea had a different dynamic about them because it was so unpredictable with Estavio coming in, who I thought was absolutely electric. This Chelsea side are beginning to click. They look dynamic. They've got great energy, great movement, great fluidity. They keep the ball in key moments as well. They stifle the opposition with possession. The midfield of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez beginning to work as well. And you do feel this is a great platform kind of result for Chelsea to go on in the next few weeks and put big pressure on the other sides around them, because I feel that Chelsea could really push high into the table this season. And it's a really strong, encouraging performance. We're going to talk about all the goals. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you subscribe as well. Again, we have to say that Chelsea handled the Cole Palmer injury very, very well. Estavio came in. João Pedro moved to a more kind of narrow position alongside Liam Delap. I thought it worked really, really well, to be honest. But it's Lucas Paqueta that obviously scored and opened the goal scoring 6 minutes in. He takes a bit of a shot from distance. Caicedo does a really poor job. He's a little bit sort of sleepwalking to try and close Paqueta down. Doesn't do a very good job of doing that, considering that's his main job at that kind of area of the pitch, to stop those shots being taken. Paqueta takes it, and I don't know what Sanchez is doing. I mean, the fundamental criticism of Chelsea will always remain. Once a keeper, you see a keeper be as poor as Sanchez has been, there's very, very few examples in the history of football where someone comes back to a level Chelsea need him to be to win a Premier League title, to win major honours this season. He's nowhere near good enough. He's going for the ball with his wrong hand as well. And it just looks clunky. It's almost like he's getting lobbed, but he's on his line. I don't know how he's out of position in such a bad way, but Paqueta clearly identified that as a great effort. You are beginning to think, could West Ham get a foot in the game? Could they be a little bit more physical? But actually, Chelsea woke up, and the chalk and cheese between the two sides, particularly in that midfield, Soucek, Ward-Prowse, what is going on there? Nowhere near good enough at this level, even against Chelsea, against any other side around them, a Leeds, a Sunderland. It's nowhere near good enough. Slow, it's flat, it's a little bit sterile as a midfield, and Chelsea were able to play through in ease. João Pedro got the goal to equalise with a simple tap-in. A lot of these Chelsea goals really are just balls across the face of the box that the three centre-backs really struggled to deal with. Aguerd, Kilman today, and Todibo actually came off quite early in the game. Wan-Bissaka is caught sleepwalking as well for the Neto goal that made it 2-1 to Chelsea. At that point, it's game over. And I honestly thought it could have been 5, it could have been 6, 7, 10-0, 10-1. Seriously, I mean, West Ham capitulated very, very quick. That's the concern. You're going to lose to Chelsea eventually because you're West Ham United, you're at home, they spent a lot of money, they've got a lot of quality, they've just won the Club World Cup, etc., etc., etc. They are a golf above West Ham United. But the fact that they've only conceded a couple of goals, it's 1-1, it's 2-1, and suddenly you feel it could be 5 from 2 because you can just see it on the pitch, the way the players are reacting. The players are 5 yards off the pace. Really concerning if you're West Ham United. But the third goal for me is the best goal of the evening because the movement from Estavio, he gets a ball played around the corner. He links up to Liam Delap, who holds the defender off incredibly well, gives it back to Estavio, who drives with the ball, and he just delays the ball across to Enzo Fernandez just enough that it squeezes between the keeper and the centre-backs. Again, really having three centre-backs shouldn't really get caught out with that kind of ball. But the keeper as well, I mean, Hermanson, nowhere near good enough at this level. Nowhere near. He was actually culpable for another goal as well. I think it was the Chalobah goal. But ultimately, it's a great finish. And it's a great ball across from Estavio. He's got a lot of talent. He's come out of nowhere. Obviously costs a lot of money for Chelsea for someone of his age. But he's got flair, he's got trickery, he's got 2 feet. And he's a very smart footballer. That cross could have easily been gobbled up by the keeper, blocked by a centre-back. He's just found the space, and that is down to quality, not luck. I thought it was a really, really good piece of play from Estavio. At that point, again, it could have been 5, 6, 7, 1, and you are worried for West Ham in a big, big way. Caicedo makes it 4-1 with a great little finish in the second half of the game. At this point, Chelsea really are coasting. there's nothing really too much to talk about in terms of there weren't any major goals after that. Chalobah makes it 5-1, but it feels like everything's in and around the West Ham box. They can't defend. And there's one thing you could say about Chelsea maybe last season was they weren't quite ruthless enough in the final third. Yes, they'd score some well-worked goals. Yes, they'd score some stuff maybe in the box and balls getting whipped into the box for Jackson. But there's kind of the idea that Chelsea overplay it was completely gone in this game because Chelsea just found the simple ball, tapped it in multiple times, great little finishes in the box. They were a little bit more ruthless in this game. And if Chelsea can match this kind of form going into big games throughout the season, they are going to be a side that can outscore anyone. They could do this against City if things click. They could do it against Arsenal if things click in those big games. And that'd be the concern if you're in this title race going into the season. It remains to be seen who is in an actual title race. But Chelsea could out of nowhere just score 3, 4, 5 if they play with this level of fluidity and the kind of the Delaps of the world, the Pedros, Estavios. They just rise with the tide. The level goes up. They're a young side. They're flexible. They're going to make mistakes. Estavio did for the Paqueta goal. But you do feel that they're all rising at a pretty similar level. It looks like there's a good team camaraderie. And whatever the front three is, whatever the front four kind of looks like, there's two anchor men that are kind of keeping it all together. And Caicedo gets a lot of plaudits last season. But at the back end of last season, Enzo Fernandez going right under the radar. An all-round midfielder, keeps the ball very, very well, can score a goal like he did today. And actually defensively complements Caicedo as well, covers a lot of ground, works hard. You can see, whatever you say about the Chelsea project, a lot of these players are desperate to succeed at Chelsea. They really want to do well. They want to play for Enzo Maresca. It's not like they're all mercenaries. I think they're being painted out because of these long-term contracts, lots of money being spent, that maybe it's a kind of mercenary project. I don't see it, even though Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo cost a lot of money. They're working really hard. It's a tough job what they're doing in that midfield. They ran West Ham ragged today, and obviously on the ball, a lot of quality as well. But you do feel actually their midfield, if they can keep that going, that form between the two, there's a lot of quality in there. And Cole Palmer didn't even play today as well. It would be concerning maybe Delap not scoring. He looked a little bit frustrated getting taken off as well because obviously he would have wanted to get the goal. I think his dad was in the stands as well. Rory Delap, legend of Stoke City FC. Needs to be seen, let's be completely real. But apart from that, I thought Chelsea were absolutely scintillating. And actually the back line for Chelsea, I thought Gusto had a good game today. I thought Tosin and Chalobah. I think Chalobah's just looking like a fantastic centre-back. I'm glad on some level that he wasn't getting loaned out. He got brought back from Palace obviously last season. And it has just clicked. And sometimes you don't need a Rolls-Royce centre-back. I feel like the Tosin-Chalobah connection is very, very strong, particularly when you're playing sides like West Ham. We have to just talk about West Ham very, very quickly. They're in a world of pain. They could sack him in the next couple of weeks. If this performance matches next week, he could even be gone next week because we're talking about 8 goals in 2 games right at the start of the season. Fans leaving. Jared Bowen couldn't influence the game. Paqueta got his goals for fair play. Juve looked a little bit clunky. Fulkrug, lumpy. He shouldn't have started the game. I talked about the game on this channel in my predictions video. He shouldn't have started the game. I think you should have just packed the midfield, West Ham United, and made things a lot more tricky. That being said, Chelsea, whatever happened today, I think they were scoring a load of goals. It was fluid, it connected, and that is scary for the rest of the Premier League. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave your thoughts down below. West Ham United 1, Chelsea 5.